The CWA Canada CAJ Award for Labour Reporting recognizes exemplary reporting on labour issues in Canada, journalism that goes beyond the strike or lockout and explores impacts on policy, law, or public awareness. The finalists are
Ira Basin of CBC Radio One, the Sunday edition, for Class Struggle. Roughly half of Canada's undergraduate students are taught by poorly paid sessionals, not well-compensated tenured faculty. Universities' business models depend on this setup, but having highly skilled sessionals work without job security, for low pay and few benefits, also hurts students, as those instructors must often cut corners in time spent with students, complexity of assignments, and time grading.
The one thing I think we need to look at now is the university's dirty little secret. And the university's dirty little secret is their contract academic staff.
Knowing that you're getting paid about a third of what full-time professors are making does affect your morale from year to year. You begin to think, I am getting cheated.
I did not ever envision my life ending up like this, where every 4 months I worry about how I'm going to put food on the table.
Dave Seglins, Gord Westmacott, John Nicol, Heather Evans, Carla Turner, and Jeremy McDonald of CBC Radio One's The Current and CBC News for Rail Fatigue in Canada, a Silent Peril. After Lac-Mégantic put the focus on shipping oil by rail, CBC News kept hearing troubling stories from railroaders of a less obvious but major threat: fatigue putting workers, dangerous rail cargoes, and communities at risk. Transport Canada knew of the problem, but left it to industry to fix. CBC's reporters even turned up an audio call exposing a CP rail dispatcher pressuring an employee to drive a commuter train on just 2 hours sleep.
I just went to bed. You want me to go and drive a freight passenger train tired? That's what you're asking me to do?
I think I'd been in bed for about an hour by the time they phoned. I had an hour's sleep. I thought I was going at 1400 later that day. What they wanted me to do was go at 2:15 that morning and to operate a passenger train through Canada's largest city, tired.
So Paul Proudlock doesn't think it's safe for him to drive a car to work, let alone, a train.
And what happens when he tells the dispatcher that?
Well, let's listen in.
So this is your call to go to work.
I think I'm just going to stay in my turn and work it.
But no, this is your call to work, Paul.
Sonny Freeman of the Huffington Post for the 4,000-kilometer commute. Why do so many oil sands workers make the 4,000-kilometer commute from east to west? HuffPost Canada business reporter Sonny Freeman's enterprise reporting tells a story of the Canadian economy usually seen piecemeal through monthly job reports. It tells the stories of families who depend on the oil sands to pay their bills and save for retirement, even though they live on the other side of the country. Robert Bostelar of the Ottawa Citizen for The Secret Squeeze. The amount Ottawa pays for temporary and contract hires, dubbed the Shadow Civil Service, has dropped from over $300 million to nearly half that since 2009. That's partly due to fewer hires, but is also because, more and more, the federal government only pays minimum wage for such jobs. That means temp jobs once seen by the young as a stepping stone to permanent work are now low-paying ends in themselves. Gordon Hoekstra of the Vancouver Sun for Call Renewed for Justice. When a BC Crown Council decided early in 2014 not to lay charges in a deadly 2012 sawmill explosion in the tiny northern community of Burns Lake, families, workers, and unions called for justice. The Vancouver Sun investigated why these deadly workplace incidents seemed so hard to prosecute. Their coverage was often cited in the ensuing public debate that led to changes in workplace safety rules in the province.